Christian furries. Very ironic, I know, but it's a funny topic and I think one that needs to be addressed. You see, the reason why I'm making this video is because I've made videos about furries, and those videos actually got me some furry subscribers, even though I was very critical of them to say the least. And what usually happens is when you talk to them, they say,
"Yeah, you're right about the furries. But don't worry, I'm one of the good ones, ooh. I'm a Christian furry."
I'm gonna be frank with you. I think these people have good intentions, but we need to have an honest conversation. I think this is a problem. I don't think you should be going around calling yourself a Christian furry. It doesn't give you or other Christians a good look. Though in this video, I'm going to try and be as fair as possible. I'm not gonna just mindlessly berate the furries. In fact, I think the best way to go about this video is to first cover what exactly makes a person a furry and whether those things are inherently good or bad, and then dive into exactly what I think is a major problem for these furries. So first off, what makes a person a furry? To be a furry, according to them, you don't even need a fursuit. Those things are pretty expensive as is. What makes you a furry is to simply draw yourself in an anthropomorphic way and to have what they call a fursona. And it's just a bunch of people that draw themselves this way. Now, is it inherently a bad thing or is it evil to draw yourself as a furry? No, it's just a cartoon. You're just drawing yourself in a fun, goofy way. Literally nothing bad about that. Now, as for the fursona thing, I really don't know. To be frank, I'm going to lean on the side that I don't think it's bad. If it's like a role-playing thing, like maybe D&D, where you create a fun character of yourself and how you imagine yourself or draw yourself or something about that, I don't even think that in itself is wrong. It's very weird, and I don't understand it, and I probably will make fun of you for it, but I can't say it's really wrong. But from those two things alone, that makes you a furry. And are those things inherently bad? I don't think so. But sadly, that's not the only thing that comes with being a furry. What comes with being a furry is the whole community, and that's the problem we get. It's a graphic community, let's be honest. I've seen the stats, we've covered them in previous videos. The majority of furries consume porn. Even the women, oddly enough, which is not usually what you see of women. They lean towards the books, the writing when it comes to anything inappropriate. Both men and women consume large amounts of inappropriate content, just in different ways. Whereas for furries, it's usually visual, which is a very interesting fact. And this is the problem at the end of the day. Whenever you call yourself a furry, you're associating yourself with that group. When you say you're a Christian furry, they think, oh, so you're claiming to be a Christian, you're kind of LARPing about it while being openly connected to a graphic group, a group that dedicates itself to making... The statistics don't lie. You can say it's not what being a furry is about, but statistically speaking, the majority of you create or consume furry, and it's made amongst yourselves. And your fictional characters that you're creating with these fursonas, that in itself isn't bad until you then start connecting it to weird things like which is extremely common. And then you come into these online groups, many of you in the right-wing groups, and you say, well guys, I'm a furry, but trust me, I'm right-wing or I'm a Christian or whatever. I'm one of the good ones, but you're not eliminating that connection to pornographic material. You're still with those groups of people who think it's fine, who openly engage with these types of things. And again, the core problem isn't even like the dressing up or the cosplay or the character or whatever. Like, look at me. Do you think I can lecture you for that type of stuff? I'm literally wearing a night helmet. This image of me right here is just a picture of me with an EVA foam cosplay night helmet I made. What is connected with being a furry is the community and is the large amount of... To say you're a Christian furry is kind of like saying you're a Christian star, or that you're a Christian who makes... If you had your own group or your own label or your own community that had nothing to do with... and you didn't interact with these furries who are degenerates, the conversation would be much different. Get out of these degenerate communities, get yourself away from them, or just give up being a furry entirely. Be careful about these people who you're hanging out with. And I make this video, especially with the people in mind who are like the Christian furries or right-wing furries in my own audience. I'm not trying to bash you over the head with this. A lot of you are fun, kind people. I have nothing against you. But this is what we see when you say you're a Christian furry. It's almost like when Bonnie Blue got baptized. What's going on here? If you're gonna keep calling yourself a furry, living this lifestyle where you're producing, consuming large amounts of, It implies a tolerance, it implies an acceptance of it. At that point, I just not call myself a Christian. If you're actually spiritual in some sort of way, why not just keep that to yourself? Why do other people have to know that you're thinking about Christianity and you're struggling with this different lifestyle? In your own life privately, try and figure out what the truth is. If you're somebody who's really struggling with these things, maybe you're a furry, but you genuinely believe God exists, why not keep that private and work on it in your own time, if you're actually sincere about these things? Because in my opinion, with how they are as a community, you can't call yourself a Christian furry. Is Bonnie Blue a Christian? She got baptized. One of these labels have got to go. And again, I'm not even saying you have to stop drawing these cartoon animals, or cosplaying, or role-playing, or whatever. Just get out of the furry community and away from... To really nail this point in, I'm not making this video to say, look at these furries, they're all degenerates, so you can't be Christian. No, it's not even that. I think people can have messed up periods in their life. They know something's wrong, they're trying to fix it, they're trying to deal with it, and they're Christian. You're struggling with these things, you're really trying to get rid of it in your life. That's good, even if you are sinning. The big issue is, though, you're now making it part of your identity. If you openly call yourself and identify with a group of people like that, you're actively engaging with these things, so much that it changes how you see yourself and how you identify. I think that's a different problem. You're not even somebody who's dealing with these things in your personal life and you're struggling against them. It's now part of your identity, how you see yourself, which also influences how you act, how you behave. For me personally, I like anime. I think it can be really cool. But you will never hear me ever call myself a weeb. I will never identify with those people who make watching anime part of their identity. They're pretty messed up. In fact, a lot of them are just degenerates. Like, have you seen how a lot of those people in those communities act? There are tons of people in these communities, and you also see them in the gaming communities. They complain about how there's less cleavage, there's less fan service. They're not even complaining that the women look less attractive, they're just upset that there's less nudity. Do you really want to identify with those people? I'm personally fine with there being less nudity. You're not going to hear me complaining about that. And if you're fine with more modesty, what do they call you? They call you a tourist. They say you're not one of us. Do you really want to identify with those people? No. Sometimes, though, you both happen to like the same shows. Doesn't make you a degenerate, though. Same with being a furry. Go ahead, make these little cartoons that you find fun and enjoyable. Dress up even. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't engage with these degenerates and make it part of your identity. That's key. Calling yourself a Christian furry brings shame to yourself and other Christians. At least if you're just a furry, it makes coherent sense. There is no hostility or animosity towards the furries. I'm just being honest. I would tell you this if you were my friend. In fact, I've had furry friends. I still get along with the furries, but I gotta be honest with you. That's what you need to do. And that is the end of this video. Let me know if you agree. If you disagree with me or the things I say, I would like to hear your thoughts. If I'm missing key details about, like, say, the fursona and you believe that's immoral, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if you like the style of the video. I'm not going to go into detail, but I figured out a method to making the videos a lot faster. This video took the usual amount of time, but there's far less gameplay footage as well. So I'm trying to learn to make these videos faster and also higher quality. Also, thank you so much to the Patreon members who continue to support me. Your support helps the channel out so much. It means a lot to me. And that's it for this video. And as always, I hope you have a good one.